What's good, everybody? Before we get started on today's episode, big ups to the members of the Patreon. We got Arabia, Daniel Gibson, Thomas Robinson, Abel Rezin, Ben Kotzian, Christopher Velasquez, Derek Plades, Devin Rendon, Dylan Chadwick, Jerry Shapiro, Jordan Riley, Mike Stevens, Nicholas Messina, and Nick Crummage. And there's a reason why I didn't say Mahul Patel's name, because Mahul Patel has pledged for the entire year.
Yes.
Once again, that's back-to-back years. Mahul Patel,
damn.
thank you so much.
That's great.
Shout out to Rochester, New York. Shout out to Elevate, the gym out there. I should know the whole name of it, but Nick Mancuso, my dog, my best friend in college, Mahul and him are good buddies out there. He actually sent us gifts.
Whoa, some nifty gifties.
Yeah, we got some gifts from Mahul, one for me and one for you.
Sick.
We'll
Special
open this up as we're doing the reads.
edition.
By the way, ISO Cam, if possible, please. Fans of Veterans Minimum, more gifts would be nice. Like, we give you guys like 4 hours of content a week. It could be anything, right? It could be $1 to the Patreon, patreon.com/Veterans Minimum, or it could be gifts as well. Shout out to Ross's boss when he showed up and he gave us money, which is the best gift ever.
Facts.
But yeah, listen, we're being silly, but serious as
But
well.
this is how we can hold our money, because it's a wallet, Nick.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, they're going to have to go like pick up that Saquon Barkley money, and they better have a wallet. My wallet can't hold money right now. So this is actually a huge addition for me.
Man. Yeah,
I
shout
love
out to Mahul.
packaging 10 out of 10.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Oh my gosh, a little magnet top for the top too. Shit.
Whoa.
This is like what Bobby Boucher kept his super cold water in.
Oh, I just realized yours says Captain George on it, so I'm pretty sure yours is.
Whoa.
This one is yours, yeah.
Wait a second. Nick, our fucking names?
Yo, what? Listen, let's give the whole packaging.
Oh, okay.
Hey, yo, by the way, packaging.
Boom.
But yeah,
Boom.
patreon.com/Veterans Minimum. Thank you for the support. Once again, we're going to have a lot of content coming out over the next couple of days. We're doing 3 episodes this week. So we had the ASC NFC Fallout on Monday. We have our interview with Dave Hill. He wrote an amazing article for Rolling Stones. If you guys haven't gone to check that out, check that out. Make sure you're following us everywhere you should be following us. This one says Nick Lamb. Let's go, brother.
This has a
Shout out to Mahul once again, man. Thank you for the
Mahul.
gifts.
You're the man, dude.
On this episode, it's the People's Podcast. You guys sent questions to the social media, the Discord, Twitter, all that fun stuff. George gathered them. I don't know the questions that are being asked, but
It's a surprise.
we have already filmed, and boy, these are banger questions. And there's one question in particular that I get flooded with on a weekly and daily basis. Sit back, relax, enjoy. We got 3 shows this week, 3 shows next week. And yeah, we got a lot of content coming out. Enjoy the episode, and yeah, play the fucking theme music.
Yeah. Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah. Now this the black sheep, sticking it to him. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby. Nigga in hand, just understand my pockets that deep. With nothing to prove, I ain't got nothing to do. When they can't compete and I got
Yes,
nothing to lose.
what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the #1 sports betting vibe on the planet, Veterans Minimum. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. Follow us, rate us, review, subscribe, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter.
Yep.
What am I missing?
Nope, that's it. And we're about to make a backup TikTok account. I decided that today, just so we can just be ready. Like, I don't know. I'm just sick and tired of fucking TikTok's bullshit, dude.
Constant appeal.
There's constant appealing and just not even telling us. Like, I don't get to see which reel it is. I just can't even log into the account. It's...
I shouldn't be laughing this much.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I get the email, which, by the way, I got to give you the email for it so that I don't need to be the middleman in this. And I laugh because George is the one that runs everything. And I'll just say, yo, George, we got banned again, bro. And then he's like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I woke up to a text this morning to like the most disappointing thing ever. We are on a heater right now. If only TikTok views were my bank account, I would fucking be feeling fresh today. I still am feeling fresh, but not 350,000 fresh.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah.
we've cracked the code, bro. Anytime touchdown parlay,
Yeah.
150,000 views on that one, 300,000 views on the other one. We're gonna give one out for the Super Bowl early at the end of the show. But yeah, man, I shouldn't be laughing as much because TikTok is popping. TikTok for the show has been fantastic. Once again, for social media manager,
I want to do anytime touchdown parlays predicting the future once the schedule's released. So once the schedule's released, we just put it in our natural show flow like we do an anytime touchdown parlay for week 1, for week 2. So they're already done. And so we're like mock drafting anytime touchdown scores. So we're always ready and we hit every single one next year.
fuck yeah.
That's for the people. This is what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. Make sure you're following us everywhere, Veterans Minimum. Okay. Like we said, the end of the show, we're going to close out with some Super Bowl stuff. Maybe instead of a Monday winner, George, we're doing a week and a half winner.
Mhm.
Right? Bet these now, bet these immediately. But it's the People's Podcast. You guys sent us questions. This one, the coolest thing about this now, George, I think this is the first one we do that you gathered all the questions.
Yes.
Which I'm excited for.
Yes.
It's nice to have a reliable co-host and someone that helps out with the show a lot, and being able to gather all this stuff has been really fun because I like surprises.
Yeah.
I like just being, completely out of my element and on the whim. I'm in. If you guys haven't yet, please check out the Monday show that we did, the NFL Conference Championship fallout. A lot of crazy stuff that went down over there. And then the interview with Dave Hill. Dave Hill 77 on social media, and David Hill, Rolling Stones author, writer, reporter in the sports betting space. He's been on the show a bunch, and it was a really, really eye-opening conversation. We like having him come on the show because the way he covers sports betting, as you guys have seen and heard, is fantastic. So once again, shout out to Dave, man. Always a pleasure having you on. But George, I'm ready to dive into it, bro. Lead us off. What is what do you want to be? Where do you want to start?
Well, I'm gonna go in chronological order as I have them listed here, but I was able to curate these from the Discord, some from the Discord, some from other means. But Nick, it's only fitting that we start with the greatest question that I could ask you. From Mark in the Discord, when did you fall in love with Latinas?
This might be the greatest question of all time.
I would agree.
So growing up in Astoria, Queens, I grew up with a lot of Latinos. My last name is Dais.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, people think I'm Spanish.
Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz. All the time. I get Brazilian a lot too, because Dias is a very popular last name in Portuguese, Brazil, So when did I fall in love with Latinas?
Yeah.
Sofia Vergara, generational talent. She's been beautiful for 4 decades.
She's a first overall draft pick.
She
Hall of
was
Famer right off rip.
I mean, bro,
you would know immediately.
In the 90s, beautiful. In the 2000s, beautiful. In the 10s, in the 20s, generational talent.
Dude.
And then Rosalina Sanchez,
Yeah.
Rush Hour 2. Oh, SS Minnow Johnson. Come on, bro. Fantastic. Mount Rushmore. Yeah. And then growing up, I just grew up with a lot of Hispanics and Latinos. One of my best friends growing up was Colombian.
Mm-hmm.
So, just being around that too. I love the culture. The women are fucking fantastic. And yeah, it's funny that Antoine's in here because he sent me a bunch of Medellin, Colombia memes. And I was like, no comment.
No
No
comment.
at the end though. No understand. You
What
know
type
I'm saying?
of
No, I'm saying no
Medellin?
comment to him.
Yeah.
To him. I don't know what he's telling me with these memes. Because a lot of them are about
You could say Chica Buena.
Chica Buena.
That's your saying, bro.
Sí.
Chica Buena. Chica.
Yeah, man. But they're my favorite. My absolute favorite. Number one.
Yes.
Mount Rushmore growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Beautifully. Sofia Vergara.
Mm-hmm.
Rosaline Sanchez.
Yes.
Trish Stratus. I'm not into white girls, but
Yeah, the
there's
Canadian.
exceptions.
She's Canadian.
Canadian,
yeah.
Greek.
A little bit. European
Mame.
descent.
And then Megan Good.
Yeah.
I hit all the demographics there.
That'd be a
I'm down with
hell of a celebrity. Like, what would that be? A Pentagon? Yeah.
Yeah,
You'd be in a Pentagon relationship.
Yeah, crazy.
You wouldn't be able to handle that.
Oh no way.
They'd have to somehow find a way to handle each other, which would also be the greatest thing to have ever existed on Earth.
Oh,
Yep. It's crazy.
Weird, amazing fantasies at the moment.
I would hate for that just to have AI animation written all over it. Don't want to give them any ideas.
How about you? What was like your type? There's one appropriate answer right now.
Well, yeah. But my type has always been Cameron. White girls, huge butts, nice figure. Comes from a good like gene pool. So I'm looking for tall parents. I'm looking for a stout brother, or are your shoulders wide? That matters to me. Like I think some guys would be like, oh, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Sorry that I want a first round draft pick.
Yeah, we're thinking generational wealth. Yeah,
I just
like me, bro.
What our ancestors thought.
I'm trying to go to. So like, I'm being serious when I say this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have a bachelor party in Brazil so I can find the love of my life. That's my goal. Operation Neymar will be in full fledged. Right? We're trying to get James Rodriguez if we're going to Medellin.
Oh wow,
you know? That's what I'm thinking, George.
I think that's a great idea. I think you can't leave till one is found. I would recommend
Gladly stay down there.
Yeah, you got to be careful though. All these shows that I watch on Nat Geo that talk about like the airport TSA and they're stopping people all the time, like that, you're a red flag.
Oh, for sure.
They would be like, "Sir, what's your point of or purpose of travel?" And you'd be like,
to find love.
I was about to go way worse, but yes,
to find love.
To find love is what I'm trying to do, officer.
And on
Get your ass back to
and on a serious note too. We talked about this in the past, but like recently someone asked me about, they want to go down to Colombia and they were asking like, is it safe? Is it crazy? And this might sound very difficult to most of you, but like, if you're not a fucking idiot, you'll be fine. Right? Like the 4 girls that stop you and they hey poppy you up and they want to come back to your room, you're probably going to get scammed, drugged, a lot of wild shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a great, I went by myself. I've made a lot of friends down there. I traveled by myself. It's a good time. We got fans out there.
Yeah, bro, they're cracking up to the story.
Yeah, I mean, listen. I've been called a passport, bro. I'm not going to agree or disagree with that sentiment, however you feel about it. But it's, I go down there for the food and the culture.
Yeah, dude.
That's why I go down there. Right? And I'm a lifelong soccer fan. But like, on a serious note, bro, if you're not an idiot, you'll be fine. Like, there's dangerous places everywhere in the world. And there's places where I grew up in New York where I was like, even though I know the area, I was like, I'm probably not going to walk there late at night by myself.
Yeah.
Right? That's anywhere on the planet. And if you just aren't a fucking idiot, you'll be fine. And I hope that's the best way I could explain it.
Yeah, no, I think I was thinking there really is no place in the world that I would feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Oh, you have your ID put up?
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you used to look like me? Oh. This is the toughest thing I've ever had to do right now is try to figure out what he's saying. But hard. I'm going to go watch this back later. You have a great night, okay? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
The perks of the audio being blasted out there and everyone now judging me because of my goals and ambitions. Come on, bro. I'm just thinking
he's just looking
generational
for love.
wealth. I'm looking for love. That's all I'm looking for. But yeah, that's a fun way to start the show.
Oh yeah. When did you fall in love with Latina? I mean, I said Sofia Vergara too. Like I immediately when I saw it, I was like, it had to be her.
Oh.
Our next question from No Show Thomas. Nick, what are your first date do's and don'ts?
Is it what I do or what the other person would do that would like turn me on?
This is what you do. This is your do's and don'ts.
I think an amazing first date is always in a setting that you can actually talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't do movies.
Yep.
Don't do, honestly, like a bar or club. I like more intimate. Go get food. Who doesn't love food? Everybody loves food, right? I'm a big sit next to them guy. I don't sit across. I sit across. Like, even, like, I'm not interviewing.
If it's a booth, yeah, you're sitting next to him.
Yeah, I'm always sitting next.
But I feel like you get kind of
That's
like
a
the
do
movie.
for me.
I kind of want it to feel intimidating for them.
So you want it to be like an interview? Because
Yeah.
that's how I would look at it. If I sit across the table from a girl,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing a podcast with her. I'm not trying to do a podcast. I like being close.
Yeah, but there has to be a TV in front of me with sports playing. Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. But for me, a do is I like sitting next.
So
I
you
like
could
going
you
on-
could sneak the little hand across, or you could, you could do the playful
Oh, and bro, like the
playful embraces.
Yeah, the playful embraces, and then if they make contact with you too, that's like a telltale sign that they're interested in you too.
Right.
That it's going well.
Right.
Because I've been sitting next to someone who, you know them too, and I'll remind you who it was after the show to just protect the innocent. She was not having it, like on her phone type thing. And I feel like I'm a very charismatic guy, so I got offended by that.
Ooh.
I was like, you were having a bad time with me? How dare you?
I would
That's
never.
how I take it.
Yeah, I would never go on the phone. I would never go on the phone. Don't go on the phone. What the fuck else is interesting right now? Like, to be honest, ain't nothing else interesting other. It's a first date. This is first date do's and don'ts. Like, I think later on down the road, shit changes.
For sure, yeah.
But first date, yeah, that's something you want to do. I think.
Can I give you another do
Yeah.
real quick before I forget? I'm a big gifter.
Okay, flowers.
Flower, not crazy.
Right,
Maybe
right,
like
right.
3
Simple,
flowers.
something simple,
Yeah,
not a
something,
fucking.
If I know
graduation
for a
bouquet.
fact they're into, like, say they're into Marvel,
Mhm.
I get a Funko Pop. Yeah, a Spider-Man one on brand. You know what I mean? Like things like that. I like gifting.
Interesting. I would think that the evening is a gift, but I like your idea because
I
if
also
you-
think my presence alone is a gift, but
I guess
you know,
I guess time doesn't mean shit to
I
these
gotta
people
also,
anymore.
you know, they want material stuff, and I get it. I do too. I like it.
Yeah, and it's a good story, and it's a good memorabilia piece that if this does make it down the road, you have something to
Yeah.
remember it by. Maybe the girl keeps the pedals, Some girls keep shit like that. They love little things like that. Cameron did that actually.
Yeah.
That's how I knew.
Whoa.
She saved all the flowers in like a Ziploc.
So she knew immediately. She's like, George is the one.
I mean, I would like to think that she thinks what I thought about her: first round draft pick,
Yeah.
Hall of Fame career,
Yeah.
then a TV career after that.
Yeah. No
Uber
1 year deal franchise tag. We're trying to supermax.
Yeah, no, like being good in the NFL and then starting a podcast and complaining that you don't have enough money because you have a lot of kids. More so, finishing your NFL career and being on CBS and having a very long career that has the projections of lasting the next 30 years, Nick. That was oddly specific, but I'm glad I could relate it back to sports.
Well, I also, I want to ask you this as well. Like, almost, you know how like there's a big debate over like who should pay the bill?
Mm-hmm.
From reliable sources, almost every one of my friends that are married, now with kids, their woman paid on the first date.
Interesting.
Every single one of them. It's a clean sweep, of course. And like, listen.
Were they broke?
No, they weren't broke. It was just like they took the initiative. Like they kind of alphaed them,
Interesting.
right?
Findom right off the bat.
Yeah. And like, bro, if a girl was to pay for me on the first date, I'd probably bend the knee. Like immediately. Or like think about it,
They're trying to secure the next date too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
And like, look, bro, I always pay for it. I've told the story where like I was making fucking $400 a week And I was dating this girl who was making high 6 figures, maybe low 7 figures. And I just felt so insecure that I couldn't afford to be going out with her. And then later down the line, she's like, hey, it's not always about that. At least with me, I actually liked you. You weren't a piece of shit to me. But I was just like, yo, I can't keep up and afford you. Right. So I always pay. Always. But then like I'll like fuck around and like say you go and get dinner and then you go to drinks. As we're going to get drinks, I'm like, you're fucking paying for this, So It's like, and even then I'll pay for it. But I just want to see how they're going to react too. Like I like certain traps.
Yeah.
If I'm like, oh, so you're paying the first round now. If they're like, no, I'm not. I'm like, you're not getting another date because I am the prize and I want to be treated special.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
It's a round of drinks, you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't got $12. All right, we're at the strip. Maybe you don't got $22.
Come on now.
Listen, I paid $9 for a 16-ounce cold brew, and every time I want to just fucking throw it back at the barista. I gotta give my employee discount to give me $1 off. I'm like, I don't even want it, bro. Don't fucking do that.
I want to get back to the first date do's and don'ts, because I think one thing that you should do is you should have a playful interaction. Let's say if you're at a restaurant or if you anywhere you go on the date with one of the workers, or so like if it's the waiter, show that you have like social skills beyond just being able to talk to the person across from you or next to you in your situation.
Yeah.
So like, if the waiter comes by, you can make a funny joke about salad or some shit. Like, I don't know, dad joke it up a little bit, but just to show them, hey, I would be fun to bring around your friends. You don't want to be in that situation where she's like, I just don't want to, I'm going to go out tonight with them one day. Yeah. One day you'll come out.
Also for me personally, I don't like just bringing any girl around my friends. I need a scouting report.
Interesting.
I don't want to like first date, like unless it's a group thing where say you were single, right? And me and you are talking to these girls and we're like, yo, by the way, go to group date karaoke. It is undefeated. No one knows how to sing, so don't worry about it. You do a duet song like My Boo, girls love it.
Right.
You sing a song that got a guy and a girl in it. It's Ja Rule, a lot of hits with that with like J-Lo and Ashanti. It works every single time. That's different. But if I like meet someone and I'm like, hey, let's go out, let's get dinner. Like I want to get dinner. I want to meet you another time. And then I'll be like, all right, if I pursue it, I'll bring you around my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like just being that guy that just brings just mad random girls.
Yeah,
always.
it doesn't look good overall as your record, and you become known as that guy that's just so close but no cigar.
Right.
Just like.
And then I don't want to like piss off one of my friends' wives or girlfriends, and then they're like, "You think you're special? He fucking had Katie here last week." I'm like, damn, you just ruined my game, like mind your business. I've had that happen to me too. I deserved it though.
Can we talk about that story?
Yeah, I was a piece of shit to my friend's girlfriend at the time because she sucked. She sucked. She was the same friend that I told you, yo, look, they're not together anymore, so it's a lot more comfortable to say this.
Oh yeah.
But she was the friend that I told you that I'm against my friends cheating. Like I wouldn't let my friend cheat.
Right.
Ever. But if his girl sucks and there's a girl that's super hot and we're on vacation and she shows interest, I'm going to be like, yo, George, not George. I'm just using George as an example. George, your girl sucks. I'd be into it. Now, if your girl, which George's actual girl is a saint, shout out to the president of the 22 percenters, I'd be like, George, are you fucking crazy?
Right.
No, I'm not letting that happen.
Yeah.
And that's also happened too on the same bachelor party. One friend who his girl sucked. I was like, yo, I'm not stopping you.
Right.
My other friend, I was like, oh, are you fucking crazy? She's the best that you'll get. Like by far. She's everything that you want in a woman. She is that 10x. You're crazy. I said other things too, but politically correct. Maybe you guys open to interpretation. So I've done that too.
Right.
So I just wanted to clarify.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Am I low for that? Or am I a great friend?
No, Nick, you're you. You're being honest. I think it's a great trait to have. I think there's a lot of people that. So I feel like it's low of me to to just like, I enjoy seeing the way things play out. Like, I don't know. I've made my errors in the past, you know, and I kind of, it's something that, like I said, I just enjoy sitting back and being like, well, let's see what the ramifications of this are for you in about a couple of months here. But I'm tight-lipped. I mean, super, you know how tight-lipped I am about this shit. Because I just like to sit back. I like to let it play out.
Hey, mind your business.
I didn't see anything.
It's one of the best traits you have.
Yeah, it's true.
Let us know how you guys
MYOB.
think, and are you gonna start judging me for my actions?
Oh, it's so funny. So Nick, next question from Hunter asks, do you still talk to the old VM guys at all? And what is that relationship like?
Whoa.
I've never listened to episode 1, and I am going to listen to it today on the drive home. And I need you to add some context to this. Who was the group? Let's lay it out on the table.
Wow. What a question. I get asked this rather often. The original group was my friend Nick, who we call Boss, this dude Tim, and Joe. That was the main 4 of us, how we started it back in 2015. And then we brought along Impy, who you met. He's called in on the show. We started the show in 2015, and through the years, it was picking up a lot of steam, a lot of momentum, and everyone had like their own thing that they were good at, right? Me with the sports betting. And I started creating my own show, D-Generation Bets. I brought Impy on as like a co-host, where with VM, he was like a producer. But Imp, I love you, and you would say the same thing. Like, he wasn't really a producer, because we'd be like, we're going to talk about the things we want. Like, an actual producer is like, hey, these are the talking points that is going on. These are the trending topics. This is what we're going to discuss. But he was a major contributor to the show. He'd gather stats for us. He would produce the show too.
Right.
And then when Tim was going to miss an episode, or Joe was going to miss an episode, or I missed an episode, oh, we got Impy, 6th man off the bench, even though there was 5 of us. So that was 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. Things started to get rocky. And truthfully, I've always said this, a lot of it was because of me. I was a piece of shit. I was going through a lot in my personal life, and I was going to be a cop. And with becoming a cop, I'd have to be all in this or all in that. Right? And all I wanted to do from day one was to be a content creator, which is what I'm doing now. Right. And again, the story is very fulfilling and easier to tell because it worked out. Right. So the relationship started getting rocky a little bit over there. We'd butt heads a lot. And again, a lot of it my fault. And then it just got to a point around 2019 where like everyone went their separate ways. Joe, now his podcast is massive and it does super well. He's still on YouTube and does a bunch of content. He kind of like really dove into that and focused in that. Tim started doing a fantasy football podcast with his brothers. Boss was just like Nick. We call him Boss. Because again, in my friend group, there was 3 Nick D's. So everyone had like a nickname. Boss was just like, yo, bro, I really don't want to do this anymore. And then Ippy wanted to, but like the times he couldn't. And then he came on a little bit, then would stop, lose interest. Then he would come on and stop and lose interest. And I kind of just inherited everything, and you know, a lot behind the scenes that went into this as well. Yeah, I just kind of inherited everything, and I started to stop doing a wrestling show that I was doing and doing a betting show as well. And I was like, let me just cultivate VM into my interest, keep the theme of sports and add more sports betting to it. Anytime people meet me, they're like, yo, you're a vibe. So that's why we got the best sports betting vibe on the internet.
Yeah.
So that was like the origins of that. As far as my relationship with them now, was texting Impy today. I talk to him rather frequently. Boss, you guys might see him on a podcast in a couple of weeks. He's going to be out here for my birthday for UFC with some of the other guys as well. Tim, from that moment, I spoke to him maybe twice since 2019.
Wow.
And one of them, he sent me a really dope message, man. Shouts to Tim. I hope you're doing well. I don't talk to him, but he, we don't talk frequently. He sent me a dope message when I announced that I was leaving to come to Vegas. And he was like, yo, bro, I know we don't talk as much, but he's like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud you stuck it out. You turned it into everything you said you wanted it to be, which was what I was always telling, like, yo, this is what I envision it being. And he's like, yo, I hope you find what you're looking for out in Vegas. And then Joe, we definitely aren't friends, I would say. I think we're more like cordial, if that. He was at my going away party when I left, but since then I've seen him one time. And that's really it. I don't think I missed out on anything. Everyone's doing their thing. They're
Right.
in their own space, their own field. And look, man, as you get older, you realize the people that you started with, whether it's like childhood friends, they're not going to be around. They're going to go their separate ways. You go your separate ways, and it's cool. Like, there's no animosity. There is someone I used to do a show with that I don't talk to them at all. Don't like them at all. And for the people that know the people that I started in the content space with, you can figure it out on your own. And then also, like, bro, when you're around someone all the time and then you're not, it's kind of obvious, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we was always together and then we're not. So like, and I'm not even saying this because I moved. I'm just saying in general, like, shit like that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that answered your question. I don't feel like I missed out on anything.
No.
But I do get this interaction a ton. And bro, I've always said, like, oh, I was pretty shitty back then. And I feel like I became a better friend, a better person since then. Cause like, I fucked it up.
So you know
And I'll be
now.
and I'll be the first one to admit that. And I've never shied away from it. The one cool compliment I get from my buddy Stefan, shouts to Stefan Kelly, he was the captain of our football team. He's like, the same in every room. And I'm like, I love that. And I've never, even when I'm wrong, I take pride in being like, George, I fucked up, man. I shouldn't have said that or done that, or like, I was being a piece of shit. Like, I'm pretty self-aware. I think I'm one of the most self-aware people ever. And a lot of that happened because of that. I was like, yeah, I understand why he might not talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. So I hope that answered your question. I'm glad that we got this question, honestly, because I never wanted to just discuss it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But I do get this
on today's episode of Veterans Minimum,
Yeah.
we're going to talk about the past.
a diss track.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit like that.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
That would be a good way to do it.
I have a good ghostwriter if I need one. Get Cam and Mace.
Yeah, I was about to say, bro. Just list it out to
We
them.
just play. Yeah, I hope everybody doing well. And
Yeah.
again, I feel like when you start doing well, also, you don't have the same animosity. At least for me.
Yeah.
Because I also used to be that guy, bro, where I would see people getting opportunities in this space or in anything. I'd be like, no, I'm fucking better than them. Like, they ain't shit. We've had this conversation often.
Yeah.
And then once I started,
And we are them, though. Like, that's just the like, you mentally shift at a point in time where you're
Yeah.
like, no, it's us.
Yeah.
It's us. Like, I don't understand why I'm having this mental dialogue about this person that I feel shouldn't be in this spot.
yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah, it's your own insecurities. And it's because, like, Mace said this on a show recently. He's like, yo, when you're getting money or you're having fun or you're doing the thing you enjoy, you don't really be hating on other people that are doing well.
No.
And even if they're doing better than you, if you're doing well, cool. It's when you're not. And that, like I always say, like, these conversations are a lot easier to have because, like, bro, full transparency, there's a lot of people in the media space who I help a lot in the betting world, whether it's NFL, whether it's UFC. And these are like prominent figures. Not once have I been like, air them out or whatever. Like, nah, cool relationship. They ask for my input, but then verbatim, they say what I say. And to me, I'm like, yeah, I'm doing well. So I'm not going to ever do that. It's not my thing because they've helped out in other ways as well.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's just how I like handling it. But again, if nothing worked out for me and I was still in my mom's basement, not probably, I'm definitely feeling some type of way.
Facts.
I'd be like, this person stole my take. You know what I
I
mean?
cannot believe that my podcast,
Yeah, yeah.
they're listening to it. Even though there is one major podcast that I swear to God, Nick, and it may just appear that we're that similar, but like I don't even listen to them anymore. But sometimes when I listen to Pardon My Take, I'm like, holy shit. Like, PFT, you motherfucker, bro. I swear to God, you're watching VM on the side. I swear to God, you are. All right, but we had a couple more questions here. We got 4 more questions.
Hell yeah.
You ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
Okay. Joseph on Twitter says, why has the NBA become so unwatchable despite having the most talent the league has ever had? Nick, in the past, you've said that every team has a guy that you'd pay money to go see, but the games are so boring and uninteresting. WTF, NBA? What are your thoughts?
Man, this is such a loaded question, bro. I have a lot of different theories. I think the whole resting players is very frustrating. I think the fact that the money is guaranteed, which is amazing, I think a lot of that plays into why guys are just like, I don't want to play in Atlanta on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm a rest tonight. I need it. So I think if it was incentive based, where like, yo, for you to make your $40 million this year, you got to play 85% of the games. A lot more people are gonna be playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's an issue. I think the other issue, because, bro, outside of, I know they're a running joke, like how we always like shit on Idaho. Wizards on a Tuesday is like my go-to. Or like every now and then you got to play the Jaguars was like the running joke back in the day. It's like outside of Washington, I think every team in the league has a guy that you'd be like, man.
What about Portland?
I like Scoot. Scoot is fun. Simons.
Okay.
They're like fun and young still. Like they could maybe blossom to be.
They're like what Jalen Green was for the Rockets a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Like you see, you're like, damn, that guy could be special.
Okay.
But like Washington, like maybe Jordan Poole, but
yeah,
he ain't commanding a fucking $200 ticket to get into the Garden kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I feel like every team has a lot of talent. It's the most talent that they've had. I mean, shit, bro. You look at the teams that were playing teams the last couple of years. Curry's on there. LeBron is on there. Durant is on there. Luka's been like, you're looking and you're like, holy shit, it's loaded. And then this year you got the Thunder as a top seed. I know they were the top seed last year. They got SGA. They got a crazy young core. You got Jalen Green with the Rockets, top 3 seed. Ja Morant is back.
Yeah.
Right? We haven't even mentioned Jokic. The Clippers got James Harden. Like you just go, Pelicans, when Zion decides to play, you got him also. And that's the other thing that's frustrating. I know Cam was talking about it on his show, but I remember I was texting my buddies on Friday because this past weekend I just kind of chilled at home, and it was a Grizzlies-Pelicans game. And I'm looking at the NBA slate. I'm like, damn, it'd be dope. Number 1 pick versus number 2 pick. This will be fire. Both guys don't play. And then they play on Saturday, and then they play on Sunday. It's like, why didn't you two play each other? So you have that. I wonder if the fact that there's not many American guys, that's been a hot take that people have been running with.
Yeah, I was about to bring up the foreign talent that we have. I mean, the next legitimate super stud of the league is from France. I mean, and he's starting to get a little bit of like the character, but it's just not the European style.
It's not the European style at all. You're raised so much different over there.
It's just you're good. This is what was expected. I don't understand why you're so excited about it. This is work.
Yeah.
As Jokic would say.
For them it's work. We got to meet Thanasis Antetokounmpo, and he was saying that they can't wait to leave to go to Greece once the season ends. And then you look at Jokic. Jokic was like, oh, the parade is on Tuesday. You just won the NBA Finals. You want to go home already.
I don't want to work anymore.
Yeah.
Please.
Right. And then like Luka, the same thing. So there is that. It's a different culture, bro. Like America is weird, bro, in comparison to like the rest of the world. Like the way, obviously the money is great here and you can make a lot of money, especially like all the best sports leagues are in the US outside of soccer. Like if you're a soccer player, you want to play in Europe. But besides that, you can make a lot of money here. So they work here and then they go back home. And I think the main thing is the 3-point shooting has gone really out of hand. We talked about that clip with the Lakers and the Suns a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a 3-minute clip. They chucked up like 17 threes. And I know the Lakers were down like 20 in the clip, but come on.
That happens every night. Every night there's
yeah.
a team that's down by 20 and you see the same gameplay.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, it goes back to the talent. Like, sure, the league is the most talented you've ever seen, but we love when Anthony Edwards posterizes people. Where is that gameplay? Where is that, like, the shit that you only see in the playoffs? Like, I am worried that they have shelled out and they just hang on and hope they can make it to the end so that way they can start playing legitimate and healthy. Because in basketball, you're super fucked if you don't have your superstar. I think there's some, I think next to NFL quarterback, not having your best position player, you could pick any position in basketball, is like the worst.
Yeah.
Like, there's no coming back from that. There's no coming back from your NFL starting quarterback being out. There's no coming back from your superstar NBA player being out. Like, you will lose every playoff series.
Yeah.
So,
nah, for sure.
You got to keep them healthy.
But I wonder, like, let me ask you this, right?
Hold
One
on.
of the reasons why I really love the NFL, why I love international soccer, why I like Champions League soccer, hell, why I even get into March Madness. I like urgency. I like the fact that it's one and done, or I can't afford to lose or give up too many goals.
Yep.
I got to make sure we come ready to play in Green Bay when it's 12 degrees, even though we're a team that's from sunny Miami, right? And I know the conferences don't work, but I'm just using this like as an example. I'm the Rams, and I got to go into Philly. Now it's a fucking blizzard in the second half, and it fucked up my whole playoff run. I like the urgency because it's like, yo, we can't, we dropped game 1, we dropped game 2. Like, we can still get it back, right? That's
it's
the
a
issue.
clown show, Nick, because the games aren't even close.
Yeah.
It's like
that's the
we
other
dropped game 1 by 25 points.
And it has nothing to do with the next game.
I swear, dude,
Yeah.
it's nuts.
Yeah, because I remember like, dude, when I came back from Buffalo and when I was in college, there was like a 6-year stretch. The Rangers were my favorite team in the world, like the New York Rangers. And my buddy Dylan, my buddy Espo, boss, was also like a huge hockey fan. He rooted for the Islanders. But I remember like the Rangers played the most playoff games in like NHL playoff history that didn't equate to a Stanley Cup, because like every season it was like game 7, game 7, game 7, game, like, and so a lot of miles on the guys, right? But I remember there'd be playoff games where like they'd lose in triple overtime, or like they'd win in triple overtime, and you feel good, and it's like that's game 1 of the series, and then the other team comes back and beats you 5-2, and now it's 1-1. So it's like it didn't even matter. Like, one doesn't have to do. We're like March Madness. If you're the 7th seed and you shoot 80% from 3, you're gonna move on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the urgency. It's why I like watching baseball playoffs. I was telling my friends in the group chat, I was like, yo, I'm all in on the Mets. But when September comes around, like, I'm not watching in July.
Right.
It's just, to me, it's too many games. It's slow paced. Baseball shouldn't cater to me. What baseball should do is, if George is watching all 162, cater to the hardcore fan. Keep your fan base happy. Don't try to bring me on board, bro, because it ain't going to work anyway.
Yeah.
But when it's playoff time, like I told him, I was like, yo, I watched every single Mets playoff game, start to finish. We'd have it on in here in the studio. I'd watch it at home. Playoffs, yeah, I'm in urgency.
Yes.
So I like urgency. But I'm not watching the Phillies-Mets series 4th of July weekend. I'm just not doing it. And I know we got super sidetracked.
For sure.
But that's the thing also with like the regular season in the NBA. And to your point about the 3-pointers, bro, it's a blessing and a curse, because if you're down 20 at halftime, you're like, hey, if we just hit 3 threes in a row, it's single digits potentially, and we get a couple stops, right? It's like a 10-point game, and games switch too. You know, one of my favorite bets that I'll do on like my throwaway betting account is anytime a team is down 20 at halftime, I'll play the money line the other team and then bet the spread also, because they'll be live like 18.5 points. So you're like, fuck it, if they get hot. And there's been many times where down 20, they come back and win.
Yeah. And the backdoor cover becomes so much more available. Even if it's not a strong push, you're like, oh, I'm still in this shit. I wanted to toss in at the end, shit, what was I about to say about the NBA? The Elam ending. I like that. I think that's exciting. I think if basketball is running into an issue with viewership, there is nothing cooler than, okay, the clock's off. They have to hit this number. We leave when the numbers hit. Like, I fuck with that. I think it makes every single player, appreciate every possession as opposed to what we see. And I would guarantee you'd see like actual sets run at the end of the games to get out of shit, as opposed to this coasting that happens. It's like the end of the game, just let the air out of the ball. It's boring. Hopefully Cooper Flags, Duke, Blue Devil will fucking make people excited about basketball. But this is the most least excited about basketball I've been as the football season is ending, I'm pretty sure, in my entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can't even add it to my radar. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way too. I'm watching the Knicks a lot because like the Knicks are playing well and they're good this year, and like you can actually see them making a conference finals for the first time in a really long time. So I'm watching a lot of the Knicks. They're playing a lot better, like I said, because now Karl Anthony Towns and Bridges are actually acclimated with the roster, right? Like they made a trade in September. And it's like, holy shit, it was supposed to be the Killanova. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all that shit, and the New York the Nova Knicks was what they were calling them. So I'm watching them, but like, bro, there's just some of the games are just so unwatchable because of the shooting, and then you get excited to watch Embiid, and then he don't go play in Denver. You get excited to watch this guy, and he's sitting out. And like, even so, it's an 82 game season, bro. If they cut it to 70, you know what's gonna happen? They'll still find ways to miss games, right? They'll be like, hey, now I'm gonna play 55 games, and they've done that too. You know, like that 55 number is important because if you don't hit, like Kawhi Leonard, he's not eligible for any awards. He can't make All NBA. He can't win Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, any of that stuff.
Yeah,
you're just not eligible, and that's good because you make All NBA. That's a contract incentive.
Yeah,
like, that's a difference between $40 and $80 million additional when you become an All NBA guy. So yeah, you got to hit them where it hurts, and where it hurts, it's the bottom line. So if I know for a fact that like, yo, my $40 million a year only gets hit if I play 85% of my games, you know what I'm doing, George? I'm playing. I'm definitely playing.
My eye, coach.
Yeah. Guy jams a picky, and now he's out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
So the NBA, it's been a big talking point, man. The NBA does have a big issue. And what's really interesting, just to put a bow on this topic, I think it's the most wide open the NBA has been also because of all the playmakers. Dude, there's like 8 teams in the West that could win the West. And then in the East, there's like
one, but you can add some other teams to that list.
I don't disagree because I have a lot of parlays that are Thunder Celtics.
Everybody on the West Celtics.
Timberwolves Celtics. I do have a lot of that I'm like banking on in bigger bets. But then I also have some futures on the Knicks, which are strictly homer, but also like the Knicks are good.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I have taken serious is like, I don't want to feel shitty every year when my team, if they win the championship and I didn't bet it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just something you do. It's a stable.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Investment to make.
When you're realistic and you think your team can win, do it. So like,
right.
When the Giants won that first Super Bowl, every year until about the Odell rookie season, I throw $100 on them to win the Super Bowl. After that, I'm like, we're winning 6 games. So let me save this 100 when I'm making 400 a week. But like then, if you're objective with your team and you can be honest with your team.
Yeah.
When I talk about this all the time,
for sure.
You could be an amazing fan. You could be a credible source for a show also. Sure. And you can make a lot of money on that too. Like the playoff game the Giants played a couple of years ago, they were 7-point underdogs going into Philly. I'm like, they're going to lose by 4 touchdowns. And they lost by 4 touchdowns. So if I was a homer and had, goggles on for my team.
Commander's goggles?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's tough. That's tough for him. Okay. This is a football question. Kenny King Jr., thoughts on Pete Carroll becoming the Raiders head coach? Good old Pete, back in the NFL. He was teaching classes at USC just this past semester. He was teaching like the study of football coaching or something. No exaggeration. That's what he was doing. And now he's going to be the Raiders head coach. I'm excited for this, bro. I really am. I think you're bringing into the division a Super Bowl winner. You're kind of matching all the other coaches in the division. The Raiders weren't the last team to select a coach. Unfortunately, that's my New Orleans Saints. But yeah, this is about Pete. Do you think the game's passed him up?
No, because he was coaching recently.
Yeah.
It's not like Bill Cowher's coming back.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
You know,
You are correct.
he coached 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So he took the year off. He's in his 70s. I believe he's 73, but he's functional and he's moving and he's grooving.
His biological age is like 55.
Yeah, he has like young energy still, which is cool. Like I could deal with that. I think he's gonna create a culture. I love that him and Harbaugh are gonna have beef again.
Oh yeah.
You know, the Stanford USC battles that they would have.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a division with elite coaches. You can't be rolling out Antonio Pierce. And I love AP, bro. Greatest defensive play I've ever seen in my life. The screen pass in the NFC title game right before halftime. I've talked about it. The glory days. But you're being overmatched, right? How many times have we talked about, like, you know, we talk about quarterbacks and all that. There's a massive coaching edge. And then you see Bills Chiefs, for example, right?
Yep.
You see it happen. Andy Reid almost against everyone.
Yeah, I was about to say Sirianni, bro. You're gonna have the same thing.
And it's like little decisions that alter legacies. And I think Pete Carroll, man, if you want to look, it's a 3-year deal. Does he reunite with Russell Wilson?
That's what everybody's been saying.
Everyone's been saying, right? Do they do that? He has Tom Brady as a consultant, right? Owner, whatever the Tom Brady role is. I think he could build a culture and then set it up for the heir apparent to come in and be like, yo, look, we've built win now guys, attitude. I like it. I like Pete Carroll. Now, look, you're in a division where you got your boy, Bo Nix, with Sean Payton. You got Justin Herbert with Jim Harbaugh, which for now you could be like, Justin Herbert in the regular season, pretty solid. And then, of course, you got the GOAT and maybe GOAT and Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so you can't be going in there with not a powerful coach.
Possibly. Just speaking as far as like legacy is concerned, worst thing you could do for your legacy is inherit this roster. Like, you can inherit this roster if you're a 41-year-old, 38-year-old whippersnapper that can keep up. But the roster itself, it's just fundamentally shattered. And obviously, I think the draft this year, they're going to address a lot of the positions. Offensive line wasn't as terrible as people would think. You definitely have to decide, is Aiden O'Connell our guy? Everybody sees something that apparently I don't see, Nick. But I think he is a backup quarterback. I think that's his ceiling. So he's got just a fucking shitstorm coming up. Did you hear the things that were being said about when the Cowboys hired Brian Schottenheimer? They had actually called to consult Pete about what he thought about it. And Pete Carroll was also a candidate for the Cowboys coaching job. It's like a weird thing that happened there with that. But how did Pete Carroll lose out on the Cowboys?
Yeah. Well,
I would way rather have the Cowboys.
I think Schottenheimer was with Carroll at some point. I feel like he was his coordinator. Let me look that up.
Yeah, I think in Seattle.
So then that's probably why
he was calling it.
Yeah, offensive coordinator 2018 to 2020.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they might have called him for, like, as a reference. So that makes sense. But it's also weird because he's also a candidate for the job as well.
This guy fucking sucks,
Yeah.
actually. He's terrible. He doesn't show up on time. He's the worst possible move you can make is going with him.
Yeah.
That's what I would have done.
Oh, I would have handled it that way too.
Oh, yeah, you do anything
Anyone that
for the
knows
position.
me knows that I'd be like, fuck that guy. He's a piece of shit.
Jerry Jones is like, just tell me what you really feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I like it, man. Look, if you want an adult in the room, as they like to say, and a guy that could command voices and can resonate with the players despite his age, I like it. I think it's a good move. It's a good move. You're probably, unless you hit on the draft, and who knows what you do in free agency, you have a tough task moving forward. Dude, I can't wait until they're good. That'll be fun. Like, imagine if like the Raiders go on a playoff run. How sick that would be.
I was a part of it I think it was the second year we were here. Derek Carr, I think it was the first year we were here. Derek Carr played Justin Herbert last week of the season.
Right,
to
they
go
got in
to
as
the-
a wild card. But I'm
Correct.
saying, imagine if they're like
They made a run.
the 2 seed and they get to host 2 playoff games. How fucking crazy that would be. Imagine an AFC title game.
And
at
Allegiant.
Allegiant. Pfft, bro, I would go 100% to that game.
Yeah,
Like, how could you not? Like,
agreed.
you kind of have to. I went to a Golden Knights playoff game because I was just like, I got to embrace the city.
Oh, that's good. Good on you.
I mean,
Good
yeah,
on you.
So, yeah, I just think, shout out to Kenny King Jr., by the way, man.
Yeah.
Friend of the show and big Raider fan. He's one
Yeah,
of
I
the
see
Raider
all his
fans.
content on
He's
TikTok.
one of the Raider fans I always talk shit about. Like, you know, you have those delusional Raider fans. Like, you ask him, he's like, yo, we're winning the Super Bowl next year. Like, every single time. But shouts to Kenny, man. Big love over there. All right, what else we got?
From Chris Hammer. Nick, you're going to love this question. What is your best betting call of all time? And what's a bet you wish you did or didn't make? You have so many. Like when I looked at this question, I was like, man, I don't fire away on the futures the way that you do. And then obviously you're just a fucking heater on these offensive players of the year. And yeah, so what is your best betting call?
I mean, bro, it would 100% have to be a future.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams Bengals Super Bowl, I hit 180-1 same game parlay,
Wow.
as well as Cooper Cup MVP, as well as the Rams winning the Super Bowl. That's why I bought the Grinch Kobe's.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite calls because it happened like the moment he signed with the Rams, Matthew Stafford, because I was always a Matthew Stafford guy. But like, man, is it recency bias if I say how I felt about Barkley?
No, it isn't. I think, Nick, I glazed the shit out. I actually was lost for words on the last episode when I was talking about Saquon. Kind of embarrassing.
I
That a
mean,
grown man makes me feel that way. But it's
listen,
remarkable.
When he cashes the ticket I gave you,
He's remarkable.
you would feel that way too. Nah, but yo, seriously, I think I don't want it to be recency bias, bro, but you know, a lot of clips have been surfacing of people on TV slandering the Eagles for the Barkley pick. And it's like Skip Bayless talking about he's been injured and he's on his last legs. He's a shot fighter was being thrown. And to me, I was like, this is a rant that I've gone on so many times. I feel like a lot of people just don't know ball. It's like, how can you see the talent that he is? He's 27. He's not 47 or 32.
Yeah.
He's still young in his absolute athletic apex, and he's going to the best roster. And, bro, he signed with the Eagles March 14th. I don't know if we filmed that day as I pull up the calendar. I don't know what March 14th of 2024 was. My birthday is on the 11th. So it was a Thursday. The 18th we filmed, and we started filming after that. Ever since then, I've been like, anyone that asks me, yo, what's your favorite bet of the season? I'm like, Saquon Barkley, Offensive Player of the Year. They're like, nah, for real. Like, what is it? I'm like, Saquon Barkley, Offensive Player. It's 40-1. It's 35-1. It's 30-1. It's 25-1. It's 20-1 still. Hey, it's 18-1 now. After the Packer game, plus 600. I'm like, I've been telling you since March.
Yep.
So I think that's the most conviction I've ever had on a call. That's the most like sure I was, and my biggest regret was I wish I put more money on it. And obviously hindsight is 2020, but man, I was just so fucking sure that it was gonna happen. Even more so than the other years that I picked Offensive Player of the Year. You know, like everyone's talking about the Chiefs three-peat. I'm a three-peat myself. Jefferson in 22, McCaffrey in 23, Barkley in 24.
You got to be careful saying it. Do you see Pat Riley's patented three-peat?
Whoa.
So any merchandise made with
Whoa,
three-peat.
no merch. Hey.
I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying, Nick.
Okay.
I like be careful saying
warning.
three-peat like that.
You're warning.
We got to come up with a creative new name one day. Like a three bang.
Three bangs.
Three bang, bro. It's not a threesome. It's not a three-peat.
Yeah,
it's a three bang.
I would say that's definitely my best call. I mean, the one bet that I've won the most money on was Argentina winning the World Cup with my dad a couple years ago. That was massive also. And then we had I had a future on Broncos Seahawks to be the Super Bowl back in 2013. That was like 60-1 that hit. And yeah, like even a couple of years ago, the first Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl was 120-1. It was a Patreon pick.
Wow.
So yeah, I love futures, man. I love futures. Dude, if I only bet futures, I'd be up 6 figures, I think. Legit.
Yeah, because you wouldn't have the volume that takes out.
And a lot of these are like
all the shit underneath.
6K payouts, 9K payouts, 15K payouts.
Yeah.
You know, but you're betting all the time. So yeah, that was what about you? I feel like Texas Rangers was crazy.
Yeah, the Rangers was, but it wasn't my pick. It was tailing. It was tailing information. So like, do I claim it as this is my best play? No, bro. Literally. You could ask me right now. I know Adolis Garcia, Corey Seager was on the team. I struggle. I should know everybody.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't. I was just a fan that they were winning fucking games and that the 60-1 was going to happen. My best play was when Cameron and I were in college. We went to Korean barbecue. And as we were going to Korean barbecue, we saw it was a Raiders versus Rams game, and we saw the Raiders jump out to an early lead, and it was halftime. And this is when Baker Mayfield was on his 48-hour. Just got traded from the Panthers, showed up with the Rams, and I had just hit a bet earlier on in the day or whatever, so like the account was looking nice, and I think I put like 50 or 60 bucks down on Baker Mayfield to win the game outright versus the Raiders. And I'm pretty sure it was 9-10-1. So it was awesome because similar to a story that you told me before where you're at dinner and then you see the bet cash and you're like, it's just the greatest feeling in the world. You're like, oh, Baker Mayfield just paid for Korean barbecue.
Dude, that happened with Puka. Puka came back against the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. I'm watching the game out in the city. I went back home to New York, and I met up with my buddy Chris. Shouts to Agent Chris. When we went out, and it was this return game, and I open up FanDuel, and I go, 28.5 for Puka's crazy, bro. Yeah. He's being priced like Tutu Atwell. And I'm like, bro, I want to throw like $500 on this. And then Chris and I split it. We threw like $300 each. And as we're like ordering, he cashed it on the first drive. And I go, slam the table. Puka's paying for this shit. I was going crazy.
Yeah, dude. And so that's the way I felt. But the reason why I had so much conviction behind this pick is because I had watched how fucking terrible the Raiders were that year. And they struggled against what I would consider competent quarterbacks. And so the Baker Mayfield truther, like...
That's where it started?
No, it started in college. The Oklahoma flag plant. Actually seeing him do the Dougie in the circle.
Yeah.
I knew at that moment, I was like,
he's going to be one of them.
Show me Trevor Lawrence doing a dance in a circle. Oh, wait. Doesn't exist?
Nope.
He's a bot, bro.
Yeah, no swag.
fucking NPC. I swear to God.
Vanilla Trev.
Vanilla Trev has no sauce, dude. We should have known then. Bet that I wish I didn't make is this past summer at the Olympics. I was so
I remember this.
I was so committed to America dominating the 100 and the 200 for the men's and the women's. It was going to be a clean sweep by Sha'Carri Richardson in the 1 and the 2 and Noah Lyles in the 1 and the 2. And Noah Lyles took care of business. Sha'Carri didn't. The very first leg of the parlay, Cameron and I are fired up. Oh my God. We put in a bet. I believe it was a $300 parlay to win us like $2,700. No, probably way more than that. Yeah. I forgot about it because on the very first leg, it is a torrential downpour, which I think is bullshit. This is the Olympics. We only get together every 4 years. We got to move this race.
Yeah.
We got to move it. It's the championship race. Now, if it's an earlier heat, I'm fine with it. I'm cool with it.
But like the main event
survive
needs to be done correctly.
Yeah, I want to see the best talent. And then as soon as I saw it raining, dude, I was like, no, she's going to get cooked.
Yeah.
And she did. So I looked like an idiot. But I'm excited for the next Olympics.
Yeah.
Shout out to 2028. We're going to be in LA, dude. Yeah.
Word. Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as excited for the Olympics. I think it's the most overrated sporting event of all time. I just don't. Not my thing.
I just like the 100 and the 200 and the relays.
Oh, I'll tune in.
I get fired up for the sprinting, bro.
I tune into the track and field stuff, the 100, the 200, the relay. Like I'm in. I'm all in.
No, just the track part, the field part.
Yeah, like the track. Like I want the sprinting, the Usain Bolt shit. That's what I'm into.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I like that.
I like seeing fast
all
things.
the other stuff like Dream Team and all the basketball. Like there's a part of me that like I kind of root for the other teams in those scenarios.
I like it because you could sense the desperation on them when they make like any turnovers. You could see everybody on the team like, oh my God, we have no chance now.
Yeah.
Even though Team USA was low-key suspect this year.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. That game against Serbia was really close because like Serbia had like 6 guys in the NBA, I think.
6 guys in the NBA?
Yeah. They got it.
Serbia?
Yeah, they had a couple.
Bro, it looked like Jokic was playing with like the local milkman.
Nah, Serbia basketball. Bro, Bogdanovic is on that team.
Yeah, you're okay. Jokic and Bogan Bogdanovic.
I'm bugging.
And
6.
Milkman.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it was them two
local
and
sheep herder
Nikola Jovic, who plays on the Heat.
Trying to steal the name.
Yeah, he's averaging 10 this year, but like he was a rookie not too long, like a year ago or 2 years ago. But yeah,
give us a run for our money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a bet I wish I didn't make. Bet I wish I did make. Best betting call of all time. Yeah, that kind of sums it all up. You ready for the question of the night? And that's kind of crazy because I started off with how did you start loving Latinas? This one's I'm gonna need your help with this one.
Okay.
Because I didn't do my due diligence beforehand in researching this. But have you heard about the Chad Ocho? I think they typed it out wrong. The Chad Ochocinco fiasco with his lady. There's a $500,000 clause about him cheating. How do you define cheating in a relationship? And this is coming from Stephanie, member of the 22% Club.
First of all, shout out to Stephanie. Thank you very much. Always love it when the women chime in on the show.
Facts.
That's great. How do you define cheating is an amazing question.
Well, I mean, that's the main crux to it. But what's this whole Ochocinco cheating thing? That's the part that I'm like a little thrown off by. How would you get yourself into a situation like this?
So, she wants $3 million a year in like alimony,
right?
And it's been turned into like it's an insane prenup demand, and he refuses to sign it.
And a $500,000 clause about him cheating,
yeah,
is on there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like different clauses now as I'm reading this. Maybe I should have done more homework on being prepared for these questions when it comes to this one. But okay, how about this? We'll circle back on this one in full detail. But like,
Yes.
I like the conversation about cheating.
Yes.
What do you think is cheating?
Well, if it was for $500,000, I would consider yourself looking at another fucking person cheating. Bro. I'd be like, nope, that's over. Where's my bonus?
Yeah, fucking. What'd you do at the gym?
Whoa, wait a
Personal
second.
trainer? Squat spotting you?
You were talking to your male coworker? Fuck
Yeah.
that. That's not happening. What would I define as cheating? I think cheating, in the most simplest terms, is pretending like you don't have a significant other for a period of time to go do things with another person. It's as simple as that. Like it doesn't have to necessarily be like
The act.
like banging, but pretending like that other person doesn't exist, it's fucked. At that point in time, the intention was there.
Yeah. You said it for me. For me, it's the intention.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I personally want my woman to be, I want people to see her one day and be like, damn, she's beautiful. Right? Like, I want them to be like, how the fuck did this guy get her? Right?
It's the best.
Like a
feeling.
howdy.
It's so good.
Howdy, great term. How'd he get her? Right?
Mhm.
That's what I would like. But you're always not going to always be around them.
Correct.
So for me, it's the intent, at least. If she's out with her friends at a bar or a club or dinner and a guy comes up to her and they start flirting or he's flirting with her, I want her to be able to police that shit and be like, hey, I appreciate it, but I have a man.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep.
I know I have friends that are in relationships that their girls will give out the Instagram just so that they could leave. Like they're being annoying and they won't go until they get something. And they're like, just take my Instagram. They might follow and then they'll unfollow like once they get home or like a day or two later. Now, if you're in the DMs, if you're, hearting the story, if you're liking this, now to me, it starts to get a little suspect. So to me, it's the intent.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't bro, I've been out with girls and guys will come up to them in a respectful way. Like they don't have on their fucking forehead taken
Yeah.
or single or whatever it might be. Like, nah, bro, you can do whatever you want. However, you gotta just handle that on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget that you're with me.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's how I like handling it. Cause
It's definitely something that you're going to be out in public, and that's where it would be tested. How do other people, or how do you approach, or how do you react when other people approach you is a huge thing. Huge. You have to have the confidence and knowing what that response and reaction is. And it's like the Tame Impala song, bro. It's like the less I know, the better. And I just hope that you are like, I don't need to know everything that you and that guy talked about before you say, but yeah, I walked away from him. Like you could just say, I walked away from this guy that approached me, as opposed to like giving me every detail.
Yeah, you got to be able to shut it down.
everything.
I think that's a fair request.
For sure.
Hey, you're really beautiful. Thank you very much. Hey, can I buy you a drink? No, I have a boyfriend, but I appreciate the kind words, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me, I think that's respectful. That's handled the right way. From there, if you're, even if you exchange Instagrams, I would like for you to unfollow eventually, maybe a day or two. I don't want you to start liking and sending DMs.
Tough. I mean, I've gotten into this with Cameron where it was like a whole job thing. I mean, like we had to go through that when I was at Sticky Paws. I mean, we were having on any given day 6 different podcasts record, right? And I'm engineering a show and you intermingle with the guest and the host and stuff, and you're following all these people. Sometimes it's like par for the course. That's why I think like social media to me, would you go through your girl's phone? It's tough.
I've never gone through a girl's phone.
Got it.
If I get suspicious, Usually, if you get suspicious, you kind of know. You just want the proof,
For sure.
right? Like, it was always crazy to me. I think one of the big reasons why the NFL and Roger Goodell got so much heat from the Ray Rice video was like, did you really need to see the act?
Yeah, just hearing
It's like,
that it
because
happened.
he had seen the act and he gave him 2 games, and then when the video leaked, you're like, holy shit,
Roger, what?
you saw that and gave him 2 games? You fucking psycho. That's why it ended up leading to him getting out the league.
It's a great analogy you're making.
And the NFL was like, yo, we fucked up crazy. You're never playing again. Right? So if you don't really need to see all of it, sometimes it's the intention. And if you have that inclination, then yeah, I probably would. But
Yeah.
then you got to know that if you do that, it's probably LGs, bro. It's a wrap
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah. Agreed. It's a tough thing.
But
to
like,
come
yo,
back
me,
from.
when I go,
It's
bro, when I go out on dates, I leave my phone face up.
smart.
You got to know that you might not be the only one for the time being.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's competition. Until you're my lady,
Mhm.
like, hey, George, so-and-so is coming to the studio. I want to introduce you to my woman.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, there's none of that after that.
This is a perfect way to define cheating, bro. This is funny as fuck too. If you're afraid for your notifications to pop up in a relationship, you're cheating.
Yeah,
Nobody's afraid of a notification.
yeah,
That's textbook sign right there.
for sure, yeah. I think how you react to the question, too.
Of course, dude. That's some.
If a girl is like, Nick, can I see your phone? No, you can't. What are you doing?
I just chuck it right at Cameron's forehead. Splits her right in the fucking.
Here, catch this.
Yeah.
You throw like
You looking at it?
93 on the gun,
Yeah.
top corner.
Throwing knife. Boom.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But listen, bro, like I also haven't had a girl in the social media era. Like an actual girlfriend where I introduced.
Yeah,
them.
that
Like,
you-
I've told you, like, my friends troll me about this one girl back home. They're like, you're just a fucking moron and y'all didn't put a title on because you're both idiots. But that was your girlfriend. But I don't know what it's like if I like a girl's picture in a bikini, but I've heard stories from my friends and they're like, it's fucking World War III happening when I'm at home. So I don't know.
Yeah, bro, you
I
have
don't
to
know.
turn into one of the Stoics. You're talking in like ancient terminology. Just be like, no. You start turning into Michael Sartain. Evolutionarily, my adaptation is to naturally just be inclined to like the girl with the big titties. I just, I don't know what happened. I'm a monkey. Yeah, that's the answer, Nick. That's how you get out of it for future reference.
Yeah, but I think just to put a bow on this conversation before we wrap up the show and give away some NFL picks for the Super Bowl, I think ultimately for me it's the intent. It's the intent, and like I always look at, it always starts at home. Also, like my parents been together 38 years, bro,
It's big.
and it gets to a point where like my mom knows my dad's password.
Yeah.
My dad knows my mom's password. It's like, when you're together that long,
This is what
you
happens.
call my dad's phone, my mom might pick up. Now, if like someone calls my phone and a girl picks up, my friends will be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. They're like, whoa.
But if it's your wife,
Nick's on a bender.
I mean, like that's different. I think context is everything. But for me, I think it's the intent. Great question. Would you say
Stephanie?
Stephanie? Shout out to Stephanie. Great question.
Phenomenal.
Great
Way
question.
to make us open up.
Thank you all for the questions for sending. This was really fun. I enjoyed it,
Same.
especially the VM guys question because I haven't really talked about that too often, if at all. Okay, some Super Bowl stuff, George.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call this one not a Monday winner, a week and a half winner.
Week and a half out winner.
Yeah.
I like it.
George, I have to be fully honest with you, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to wait to decide what I'm going to bet on.
Well, I'm excited to hear about this because I am pretty confident I know where this money is flying.
One of my bets that I've made so far is a parlay, 2-legger. Chiefs on the under 49.5.
Under.
You get plus 250. I think people are betting the over at an insane clip. right now, looking on the Action Network app, you're looking at 68% of the tickets are coming in on the over. And it's really setting up perfectly because both the Chiefs and the Eagles are coming off their best offensive scoring games of the year. Eagles broke a NFC Conference Championship game record with 55 points. The Chiefs scored the most points they did all year in the AFC title game. The last time these two teams played each other was the most points scored in the Super Bowl. Everybody's slamming the over. Now, I might cash this bet out because the way it's going, it's like probably going to close at like 51. So why not wait until kickoff?
I was about to say,
and do that? Because like we've said, if you like a over, bet it today. If you like a under, bet it later. So I'm thinking of doing that. Actually, while we're talking, I'm going to do that right now and then just wait because
live in action.
It just makes sense, right? So for me, man, Pat Mahomes is 8-0 in his career straight up against Vic Fangio defenses. And I know that it wasn't the best tenure when he was with Denver and they were playing all those times. And I know they have an insane run against Denver up until now. It's kind of tampered a little bit because they sat everyone in week 18. But, man, it's a 89% hit rate of Mahomes under a field goal or an underdog. And we have it again. It's the better team against the best head coach and quarterback. And that 5-sum of Reed, Mahomes, Kelsey, Chris Jones, and playoff Spags. You just know he's going to dial up something. I'm not saying they're going to shut down Barkley because I don't think you could. And also, like, there's been so many games this year that I've texted you and I'm like, yo, fuck, man, OPOY.
They figured it out.
They figured it out. It's over. And then Barkley has 1,000,000 yards in second halves of games, right? So that could also happen too. But man, for me, I think it's Kansas City money line, right? We had a couple of questions in the Discord about how to approach this. To me, just take the money line, -125, -130. Don't take the 1.5. Something stupid happens. A kicker fucking hits the upright or some shit like -110 to -125. It's $15 more, $20 more. I'd rather just do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like the under. So for me, 1.5 winner out. Chiefs and the under is one of them.
Do you think the line moves at all? I mean, that the game between the Chiefs and the Bills was hovering right around this number, and at kickoff it was a pick 'em. And so, like, this is one of those ones where if you are a late bettor, I think it might play in your favor because of how much money is coming in on the Eagles, because everyone's so sick and tired of seeing this Chiefs dominance, and they're not. It's just crazy. It's honestly crazy. This man has printed money. I mean, Mozzie has made $10 million. He's got a tattoo of Patrick Mahomes on his leg now. Big sports bettor that we had on earlier in the year. Make sure you go watch that episode. How are they just not getting the public love? Are there that many square bettors on the Eagles? Because I just would find it hard that a sharp is making like a logical conclusion that this money's got to go on the birds. I don't know. But I do have some, I'm in 100% agreement with you as far as Chiefs. I like the over though.
Okay.
I do. I think both teams are not going to have that Super Bowl first drive
jitters.
Yeah, where the lights are on them. Even though it seems pretty consistent, like year in and year out, it doesn't matter if you even have like the playoff or the Super Bowl acumen. That first drive shocks you.
That first quarter, I think, has gone under like 12 of 14 Super Bowls if you just take the under in the first quarters. And I'll pull up here as you're talking about it how the last Super Bowl between them two went.
Right.
Because I want to say that it was scoreless in the first quarter as well. No, sorry. They both scored touchdowns, so I take that back. This one was fireworks from the get-go.
Got it.
And then you had a 24-point second quarter, and then the fourth quarter was fire. Remember, the Chiefs were down 10 at halftime. So, yeah, and they came back. And like, look, Mahomes, 182 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Kelsey, 6 for 81 and a touchdown. DeVonta Smith went crazy in that game. Jalen Hurts played a monster game. had 15 carries for 70 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
You know, one other prop. Actually, you go. Give us something that you like before I continue.
Prop that I absolutely love: Harrison Butker over 7.5 points, coming in at plus money right now, plus 110. Out of the past 4 Super Bowls that he's been in, he's hit this over 3 out of the 4. So he's been rather consistent as of this year and late. And I think, why not, play into the fact that I think KC will get the ball into the red zone. Do they have the offensive talent across the board to get by that tough Eagles defense? So I think they get the stops when it matters most. The Eagles do. And Harrison Butker, 3 field goals. 3 field goals locks that up right there. So if you don't have the points, we're looking for over 2.5 field goals is the bet to make. What about you?
I always like taking one obscure prop a Super Bowl. Like one crazy long shot. One thing I like doing, though, in the Super Bowl more than I do in regular season, I like betting a first TD scorer on both teams. Because I don't want the coin flip to decide.
Yeah.
I don't want to bet, say, Jalen Hurts first touchdown, but then the Chiefs get the ball first. They go down and score. I'm going to feel like an asshole. So you could also do first Eagle to score a touchdown,
right?
Which is like a nice hedge off that if you have conviction.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best wide receivers of the generation, his yardage prop is 13.5 yards, and it's DeAndre Hopkins.
I was seeing that too, Nick.
I not only like that, I also like over his catches, 1.5 receptions at plus 110. Anytime touchdown, DeAndre Hopkins plus 600. And DeAndre Hopkins, one of the best wide receivers of this era, who has had a shitload of shitty quarterbacks throw to him, is 32-1 to score the first touchdown in the Super Bowl. That is my first touchdown scorer for the Super Bowl. DeAndre Hopkins, 32-1. Anytime touchdown for DeAndre Hopkins is plus 600. Bro, those are parlays, right? And you just need him to score a touchdown. I love it. Look, last game, he only played 18 snaps. But he got a couple targets. I think that it's the first time he's ever in a Super Bowl. He was the big free agent acquisition trade mid-season. I think that everyone's going to key in on Kelsey, especially what Zach Ertz did to them. He had not a career day, but like a season high in targets, catches, and yards against the Eagles. You could attack the Eagles through the air over the middle with the tight end. So I think maybe they're like, we're not going to let Kelsey beat us. I think it's going to be a wide receiver game. The more I think about it, I'm like, I think it's going to be the Hollywood Browns, the Juju Smith-Schusters, who had 7 catches the last time these two teams played one another for 53 yards, drew the big holding call that, ultimately ended the game there on James Bradbury when the Giants traded James Bradbury to sabotage the Philadelphia Eagles in that Super Bowl, even though this time we basically gave them the Super Bowl appearance. Yeah, bro, I just love D-Hop. He's my like long shot. Hey, I want to gamble, have some fun. He's the guy that I'm on.
Yeah. I love that because I was thinking the same thing, especially after seeing the way that the Chiefs have utilized him. And it goes back to Andy Reid is just a genius, and everything that you think is going to happen isn't going to happen. Is Xavier Worthy going to have the type of day that people think he's going to have? The rushing prop that I gave out that absolutely crushed this past weekend, it was over 3.5 rushing yards for Xavier Worthy. He ends up with 16, is now at 4.5 for the Super Bowl. So I'm definitely going to sprinkle some onto that. Do you know, Nick, that Chris Jones has never recorded a sack in the Super Bowl?
Wow.
Chris Jones, over a half a sack, is at plus 120 right now. I just feel like you're statistically due at that point. It's like a batter in baseball. I'm not betting on how you're going to do right now. I'm betting on how you're going to do over the course of 10 opportunities. This is his 4th opportunity to to bring it, or a fifth opportunity to be able to get a sack in the biggest game of the year. I just love it. Even though it's never happened and they're going to be keying in on him and he's going to be going up against fucking Mekhi Becton, which I've been hearing Baldy scream about him all year about how good he is. Then you got Lane Johnson. He could attack the center though. So if they're still having that issue with Dickerson and Juergens,
yeah,
then this is looking really good. So that's the second bet I'm going to put people onto. Chris Jones over half a sack.
Fuck yeah, man. I like it. I feel like he's due, right? Which is the worst thing to say in sports betting.
Yeah.
It's due.
Because it's going against the trend of him not ever doing it.
For sure. One more I want to give. I actually, what's a little frustrating with this Super Bowl from the betting markets is that the best matchups are going to be the most popular bets also because it's popular players. So like Barkley should be able to run all over them because Mixon did, James Cook was doing it, and then they just avoided the game plan, right? I don't think Philly's going to do that. Or at least I would hope so because Sirianni does get a lot of heat. Like Sirianni might win the Super Bowl and then still be on the hot seat. Like it's that kind of, because they'll be like, dude, we won the Super Bowl, but what the fuck was he doing on 4th and 3?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the Philly fans are psychopaths. But I like Barkley overs. I like Kelsey overs. If they don't take him away, that's who they're going to feature, like they did in the last Super Bowl against them. But I also like Dallas Goedert plus 350 to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl. He's been the most consistent pass catcher for Jalen Hurts his entire career. He's had at least 4 catches now in 9 straight playoff games.
Wow.
And he has a touchdown in 3 of them. Has a touchdown in 3 of them. When these two teams played last, he had 6 catches on 7 targets and 2 receptions inside the red zone. So he's a matchup nightmare. He's very versatile. He's already scored in the playoffs. He's went over his yardage props. And if you really want to get like super analytical, tight end is how you could attack the Kansas City Chiefs. Over the middle of the field is how you'd be able to attack them for both teams. So I like Dallas Goedert as well. Anytime touchdown. Can I give you my anytime touchdown so we could go crazy on the algorithm again?
Yeah.
All right. Let me give you the anytime touchdown and then we can wrap. You have another one?
I have one.
Okay.
I'll toss him before.
Right.
Saquon. It's a Saquon over, but Saquon over 21.5 carries. It's happened 10 times this season already. It's happened twice in the playoffs. Those are the games that didn't feature Will Shipley coming in and getting some carries. So if Will Shipley isn't taking over the carries, Saquon over 21.5 is for sure going to hit. Means it's a close game. So those 3. Parlaying them, betting them straight up as well. Hit me with your anytime touchdown parlay, Nick.
I'm gonna give you 2. 25-1, both tight ends to score. It's Goddard and Kelsey. Sorry, I take that back. It's not. I just lied to you. So anytime touchdown parlay, it's DeAndre Hopkins and Dallas Goedert at 28-1.
Nice.
Right. If you want to get really crazy and you want to gamble, you want something that's 210-1.
Whoa.
Goddard, Hopkins, Isaiah Pacheco, Jalen Hurts. $100 wins you $21,000.
Wow.
I say we go halves on that one. What do you think? Because we're gonna have.
I was
money.
about to say
we're gonna have money. That's the day before the Barkley ticket.
I know, but I want to avoid Pacheco is toxic. Everything Pacheco is toxic.
Listen, if we just eliminate Pacheco, it's 55-1. Those 3: Hurts, Goddard, D-Hop. Yeah,
that just goes to show why he's toxic.
Yeah,
because here's the thing, Nick. He's gonna fucking score one. but I can't buy into it based on what I've seen these past couple of weeks. I'm like, Pacheco.
We're buying low on the best running back on the Chiefs. Like, let's not forget, he is
so right.
the best running back on the Chiefs, and he had 7 touches last game.
He had 7 touches, mediocre touches. Kareem Hunt looked so much better.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I'm a huge Pacheco fan.
Listen, we could do for 160 to 1. Goddard, Kelsey, Hurts, Hopkins. We have 2 from each team.
I like that.
Do you like that one more? Let's do a screenshot.
Screenshot that. Remember it.
That. Clip that, Dom, and boom, bam, right there. Perfect. Fuck yeah. This was fun. We have a banger of a slate of episodes next week. Please go and check out the interview with Dave Hill if you guys haven't, about the sports betting space. Please go and like, subscribe, rate, review, as you see right now. Subscribe to the channel. All social media, it's at Veterans Minimum. The support has been amazing yet for another football season. The People's Podcast, this was great. Thank you for the questions that you guys sent. Shout out to George for gathering all the questions as well.
Yeah, give you a little surprise, bro.
Yeah, that was fire, man. Let the people know where they can find you before we wrap.
At Mr. George Carmona is where you could find me, and then you can go follow the 4 shows that I'm working on all simultaneously. It's been an amazing start to the year. I'm at 15 shows engineered, so that's what I'm good for. Instagram stories. That's it.
At Nick Day is 10 you can find me. All things Veterans Minimum, the most important, are at Veterans Minimum. Thank you all for listening. Enjoy no football this weekend. It feels weird not giving out a Ursulita.
Enjoy the Pro Bowl.
If you're into that.
Enjoy the Pro Bowl.
Catch you guys next time.
Peace.